Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 15th anniversary of Raising a Reader Massachusetts and our annual Dinner with an Author Gala. My name is Ian Lindsay. It's my great pleasure to get to be here helping to host Dinner with an Author. And our event is still a few minutes away, but while you are all gathering and getting ready and enjoying company, if you're with people, we wanted to just tell you a few quick things. One, we have subtitles, closed captioning, available for this event. If you click on the link below this live stream or over in the chat that's going to pop up in a moment, you will be able to select those closed captioning in English. Y también, bienvenidos todos. Hay subtitulados están disponibles en español. Por favor, haga clic en el enlace de abajo y también en el chat. Si quieres subtítulos en español, los tenemos. And if you prefer them in English, of course, we have them as well. So make use of those. There is also a live auction, and all of our live auction items are currently open and available for bidding. And I can see that people have found them because Lee, for example, is currently the top bidder on the awesome Bruins team hockey stick that David Krejci used, but that was signed by the entire team. That's our first live auction item. The Celtics signed basketball. The whole team signed it. Kate, you are in the lead on that item. The Bruins signed jersey, and we really want to thank TD North. John Carroll, you're currently the top bidder, but there is a ways to go. We also have a trip to Barbados for 6. We really want to thank Elite Island Resorts and an anonymous supporter of Raising a Reader. And Heather, you are currently going to Barbados, but there's more bidding yet to come. Kate has the beautiful men's Ebel watch, and we really want to thank Shreve, Crump, and Lowe. And Martin, you are currently the top bidder on the Dinner with Dan Shaughnessy, legendary Globe reporter Dan Shaughnessy. 5 people, up to 5 people, a private room at the Capitol Grill with Dan Shaughnessy. So be sure that you find our live auction. And William Bill Hogan, I just want to thank you. You are so right. Raising a Reader targets a very big problem with methods that work. And so thank you all for being here tonight to support a program that is really having incredible success. So the live auction, I do want to suggest that if you might use 2 devices as you participate in our Dinner with an Author this evening. One device is where you will be watching, and the other device is where you can log in to our auction software, GiveSmart, and bid on our 6 live auction items and our really awesome silent auction items. It's also how you'll be able to make a contribution a little bit later to the amazing work at Raising a Reader. So all you want to do is click on the link to find GiveSmart. You're going to be asked to put in your information, to register. Once you click through, you will be able to make a bid on any one of our live auction items. So if you just fill in this form, and just another helpful piece of advice, which is when we get to the live part of our live auction, and we will be having a live auction during our program in a few minutes, the bidding tends to get very fast and competitive. One way to ensure that you end up the top bidder on the item you are hoping will be yours is to have the robots do your bidding for you. And you can do that by making an auto bid. If you make an auto bid, then the robots or the computer will bid on your behalf against other people who are trying to take away your Bruins signed hockey stick. And Kate, I'm so sorry because an anonymous bidder just outbid you. So make sure you check out the auto bid feature. That's how you'll be sure that those items are yours. The other thing I want to mention is that we are here in the chat, and I can see that many of you are there. And again, Bill, welcome, and Greg, it's so great to see you. So please consider joining us in the chat. It's so easy to do so. You just have to create a free YouTube account, which YouTube calls a channel, but it's just your free YouTube account. If you follow these instructions that we're showing you right now, you will be able to create a free YouTube account, and you can come join us and chat with everyone right here in the chat. Please do so. And then remember that at the top of your chat, you want it to say live chat, and then you'll see all of the chats. And finally, If at any point you need assistance during this virtual celebration, please email info@raisingareaderma.org. If you need help with YouTube, or if you need help with GiveSmart or the live auction, or if you're really trying to figure out how to contribute 5 Bitcoin to Raising a Reader Massachusetts, just send an email and we can make that happen for you. I mean, Bitcoin's down just a little bit, so consider giving a few away. It's a great opportunity. And this is Dinner with an Author, which means there are so many authors here to support Raising a Reader Massachusetts. We are so fortunate to have so many incredible authors amongst our friends and supporters. And a few of those authors will be joining us. And I get to introduce now an author and photographer. She has published many of her own books and has been published frequently in National Geographic. She has come up with a participatory selfie game, and I am so excited. So please help me in welcoming photographer and author who combines words with images, Allison Wright. And hi, Allison. Thank you so much for being here. Would you be able to tell us about this participatory selfie game?
Hi, Ian. Thank you, everybody. This is a real joy for me to be here. I am an avid reader. I always have been since I was a young child. I was that kid that was bummed out that I could only take 3 books at a time out of the library. And my dream was always to actually create my own books. And now I have, and I've just finished my 11th one. So, reading and books are an incredible passion for me. I've traveled all over the world, and the way that I photograph people, I often like to ask them, what's important to them. And I remember being, now that I've been to about 160 countries, being in Tibet, asking this man, can I photograph you with your wife? And he turned to me and said, my wife, I want to be photographed with my pig. So I no longer make assumptions about what is important to somebody. But I find that people are comfortable with, holding something that has meaning to them. So I thought we'd play a little game tonight and have you folks send in a photo of something that is near and dear to your heart that you have, that is an inanimate object, not an animal or a child or a spouse or another human being, but a thing, a possession. If there was a fire, what would you run out of your apartment or house with? Another thing that I've always found very interesting about many of the different cultures that I explore is the different headgear that people wear. They wear different hats or different, culture costumes before everybody started wearing these ubiquitous baseball caps. But I was curious, another photo option is, what is headgear? What is something that you have that you would wear on your head at some point for any reason? Just to sort of share images and a little bit about ourselves. I'm going to share a photo with you later. I can't wait to see what you're going to submit. So let's go.
Thank you so much, Allison. So we would love to have all of you take selfies of yourself with either headgear or that very special object as Allison was describing, and send those in to info@raisingareaderma.org. And we're going to be able to see some of those a little bit later during our show. Speaking of which, our show is moments away. This is the time to make sure that you have something delicious to drink and maybe some snacks or something lovely to eat. Gather where you'll be able to see. And as you are doing that, I am so thrilled to welcome the Boston Children's Chorus, who has agreed to serenade us as we begin. Here's the Boston Children's Chorus.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you so much for listening to the children of the Boston Children's Chorus performing this evening. It's a privilege for me to work with singers so talented from across the city of Boston, and I think we can all agree that they look and sound fantastic. My name is Robbie Jacobs. I'm the Director of Artistic Programming for Boston Children's Chorus, and I'm thrilled this evening to be in partnership with Raising a Reader Massachusetts and in a shared mission to raise the voices of children through music and literature. The mission of Boston Children's Chorus is to harness the power of music to connect our city's diverse communities, cultivate empathy, and inspire social inquiry. So you've heard from us once this evening, and you'll hear from us a little bit later on with one more song. But for now, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for supporting Raising a Reader Massachusetts and Boston Children's Chorus. Enjoy the show, and thank you very much. Over to you, Ian.
Thank you, Robbie, so very much, and thank you, Boston Children's Chorus. And I want to now officially welcome all of you to the 15th anniversary of Raising a Reader Massachusetts, our annual Dinner with an Author Gala. We are so excited to have all of us gathered together. We know that there are at least a few hundred of us all gathered together to celebrate this milestone. And it is my privilege to welcome an amazing, distinguished guest to begin our evening. She is a doctor of marine biology, a former professor at the Harvard Medical School. She recently returned from the International Space Station, where she served as flight engineer for 2 missions, including a spacewalk. She was one of Time's 100 most influential people of 2020. She is a NASA astronaut and lover of books. Would you please put your virtual hands together for the one and only Dr. Jessica Meir. Dr. Meir, welcome.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Raising a Reader Massachusetts Dinner with an Author event tonight. I'm so excited to be here talking to you a little bit about one of my favorite topics, reading. Reading has always been an absolutely vital part of my life from the time that I was a young child. I remember my best friend and I, growing up in Maine, would often name all of our different reading groups. I don't know if you remember those, but they were named after things like signposts and kaleidoscopes, and they probably don't even exist anymore. But we were such avid readers, and we loved and celebrated each time we would graduate to another reading level in elementary school. And we spent so much of our time reading outside of the classroom too, on the weekends, lying in the hammock, lying in just our living room at home. I loved devouring all of these books. And I think the reason why is because books are such a powerful way of doing all of these things, of sparking our imagination, the theme tonight that we'll be talking about. They allow us to travel places that we've never been, to think about things that we've never thought about, to be exposed to entirely different worlds, sometimes not even real ones, alien worlds, undersea worlds, worlds far away in the cosmos and space. And all of these avenues, these books just transport us there. From the comfort of our living room, from the safety of our outdoor hammock, we can be anywhere we want if we pick up a book. And that was always one of the things that excited me the most and perhaps made me so immersed in the pages of whatever book it was that I was reading, because I could go anywhere. I could do anything I wanted. I could go to space from the time I was 5 years old, when I first had that dream of being an astronaut. I reflected a little bit about some of my favorite books before the event tonight, and I stacked up some of these behind me. Some of my favorite textbooks. Yes, I actually have favorite textbooks because they were so important as part of my education. Some of my favorite books as a child that I always think back to, that really sort of changed my way of thinking, and some of the classic literature, some of the other books that I read all along the way to expand, to provide me and my brain with this diversity of so many different kinds of writing. That's what's so exciting about books. They have so many different topics, so many different avenues for us to explore. And books and reading and all of this journey through literacy was absolutely integral to my lifetime, to my STEM journey, and to my trajectory toward launching on this career of becoming an astronaut. I think that when we spend time immersed in books, we can gain so much insight into all of these different aspects, these technical fields, the STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, math, of course, provide all of those fundamentals, but equally as important are those fiction books, just allowing our brains to imagine, to create, and to start discovering new worlds and ways of thinking. I know that these books were absolutely vital to my trajectory toward launching toward the stars. And it was something that I thought about even when I was up on my mission on the International Space Station. I wish I'd had more time to read for pleasure when I was in space. I tried to do it a little bit, but it was pretty difficult with all of the different things that we were doing. But it was something that I thought a lot about and reflected about when I looked at it from the cupola, our windows, our best viewing port, looking back down at planet Earth. And when you're up there in space and you're looking down on this brilliant blue gem below you, and you're thinking, everything that I know, every person I met, every experience I've ever had, everything in my life is down there in its entirety, spinning around on that brilliant blue gem below. And I'm up here. You're so separate from it, you realize how incredibly special it is. All of those memories, all of those adventures, whether they were real adventures or whether they were the ones that were captured in the pages of some of the incredible books you read along the way, all of that was down there together. And to have that kind of perspective looking back on our planet, it really meant so much to me, encapsulated so many different themes of my life, in terms of our appreciation for our planet, how special, how fragile it is, this beautiful gem below with this thin veil of an atmosphere, how we need to protect it. When we look down at the Earth and we see how connected everything is, these interconnected land masses and oceans with none of these man-made geopolitical boundaries that we've imposed upon ourselves, we realize how connected we really are, how we truly are one human, all in this together. And that's a really important perspective that I would encourage all of you to think about. I think it's a perspective that when we immerse ourselves and surround ourselves through the joy of reading and through books, we can help appreciate, because we can understand other points of view. We can think totally outside of our little box and what's immediately in front of us and be exposed to entirely different ways of thinking, all through just picking up a book. So I encourage you tonight, don't put that book down. Pick up a new one. Start a new adventure. Launch your own trajectory. Even during this time, this challenging time during the pandemic and COVID, hopefully that means people read even more from the confines of their home. Even if you couldn't get out as much as you would have liked to, hopefully your brain still had that means of escape through the power of a book. So welcome once again tonight. I'm really excited to hand over this show back to Ian. And with that, how about a little bit of a countdown? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Goodbye, everybody.
Oh, Dr. Mir, I'm sorry. My imagination doesn't have seatbelts. Can I just say that I really want to push the red button, but I'm a little nervous because I don't know what it does. And thank you so much for coming and being part of this incredible dinner with an author. And we are so, so grateful for your presence and for all the authors who are here. I want to remind everyone that we have closed captioning available in English. And if you click on the link below this live stream or over in the chat that is going to show up in just a moment, you can find those English subtitles. Y también en español, bienvenidos todos. Si español es mejor para ti y su grupo, subtitulado están disponibles. Haga clic en el enlace de abajo y en el chat. Y hay subtítulos en español también. So please find any subtitles that are most beneficial for you. And we are so grateful to have Dr. Mir reminding us about this theme of imagination. You know, we are imagining a world in which the literacy opportunity gap does not exist. And we are so grateful to all of you for joining us and for so many authors who have continued to be such strong supporters of Raising a Reader Massachusetts. So thank you all so much for coming. And as we just celebrated for the very first time the National Juneteenth holiday, and so exciting to have that as a new federal holiday, we at Raising a Reader Massachusetts strive to keep the doors of opportunity open wide, both within our organization and in the communities that we serve. Our goal is for each person, no matter their race or color or ethnicity or religious beliefs or sexual orientation, to have equal opportunities to find success in education and in life. And I invite you to give a virtual round of applause to all of that as you are here supporting Raising a Reader Massachusetts. You can do that right in the chat. Put your hands together. And while you are, I want to remind everyone also that we have games and prizes and surprises and an after party. And I believe that Dr. Meir will be joining us amongst many of our VIP author guests in our after party. So make sure you come and join us in our after party. Bidding is happening right now in our live and silent auctions. And if you are not already, make sure that you are registered in our auction software, GiveSmart. We highly encourage you to consider using a second device. So watch us on one device and then log in on a second device so that you can bid. And I'll tell you, we've got an anonymous bidder, and Kate and Ann are currently top bidders. Heather, Michael really wants that dinner with Dan. A lot of bidding is happening. So make sure that you're doing some bidding and check out the silent auction. And then I also want to just say, Isai, so nice to see you. And Brandon and Donna, so nice to see you. Join us in the chat. It is so easy to do so. All you have to do is make sure you create a free YouTube account, which is called a channel. At the top of the chat box, you want it to say live chat, not top chat. Make sure it says live chat, then you'll see all the chats. And down at the bottom is where you are going to find the emojis, where that gray smiley face is. You will find in so many. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Dale. Welcome. And Marianne, it's so nice to see you. So make sure you join us there. Right now, if you could find an emoji that shows us how it feels when you are reading. How do you feel when you are lost in a book? Maybe you're lost in your favorite textbook. Maybe you're lost in a novel or historical fiction. If you show us with an emoji how you feel when you are reading, when you are just immersed in literature. You're so welcome, Ola. And while you are doing that, Jessica, I love it. Like you're deep. Yeah, that's perfect. Exactly. That's how I feel. Kind of like a kitty in a box. Like I'm just all in my own world. I also want to invite you to find the clapping emoji right now, to put your virtual hands together. And the easiest way to find a specific emoji is to type the colon and then type the words of the emoji, like the word clap will bring up the clapping hands. Put your hands together for the amazing sponsors who have made it possible for all of us to come together and are such sustaining friends of Raising a Reader Massachusetts. For our world changer sponsors, will you give it up? Amundi US Asset Management, we are so grateful. For Susan and John Simon, thank you so much. And the Bonsell Foundation, we are so grateful. Yes, to our generational change sponsor, PNC Bank, we are so grateful. To our influencer sponsors, Summit Partners, Yellowwood Partners, Bill and Vicky Bark, David and Camille Kallstrom, Greg and Robin Dooling, Jessica and Josh Lutzker, Jonathan and Lisa Slosby, and I could see so many people. Yes, Vanessa, you were so close. You almost found the clap. That was perfect. And would you also please thank our literacy sponsors, FGS, EY, TD Bank, Progress Partners, Deloitte, Eastern Bank, Janet Porter and Jim O'Sullivan, and Aria Glasgow, and all of our sponsors, our empowerment sponsors, and our reader sponsors. Sponsors, we are so grateful for your support. We honestly could not do it without you, as you know. And your support allows Raising a Reader to continue doing this important work. And specifically tonight, we are so grateful because your sponsorship of tonight's Dinner with an Author is taking us a long way towards our goal of raising $325,000 tonight. We have this very big goal of raising $325,000. And sponsors, your sponsorship is taking us from this $14,000, and we're so grateful to everyone, to Guadalupe. Oh, thank you, people who have already contributed. And your sponsorship sponsors is taking us from from 14,000 all the way up past $200,000. We are so, so grateful. And Daniel, thank you. We're so, so grateful. And yes, oh my gosh, sponsors, we are so grateful. Up past 245,000. And we are going to fill the gears of our imagination this evening, all the way up to $325,000. So to all of you who donated in advance, thank you so much. And to any of you who are here with us this evening, please help us in our live auction, help us in our silent auction, and in a little while, you'll be able to help us, or you can help us now, in our paddle raise. So thank you, thank you. I now get to introduce another very important person that really needs very little introduction. I think many of you know her very well. Since 2010, she has dedicated her passion for reading to imagine a world of equal opportunity for literacy for all families in Massachusetts. Would you please put your hands together for the Executive Director of Raising a Reader Massachusetts, the one and only Christine Ward. Christine, welcome. How are you?
Thank you, Ian. So great to have you all here. And we are so excited to be celebrating 15 years. And the first thing I get to do this evening is present our first award, the Lead Sustaining Partner Award. And our proud recipient is TD Bank. As a longstanding financial supporter of Raising Reader Massachusetts since 2011, TD Bank has played an important role in making our work possible. They've supported us in many ways, including donations and grants, and partnered with us in positive ways to support our communities, including book distributions to our partners and donating 30 books to the Chelsea Public Library this evening. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Steve Webb, TD Bank's Regional President for Southern New England, to accept the award.
Thank you so much for the kind words, Christine. TD Bank is honored to receive Raising a Reader's Lead Sustaining Partner Award and to continue to support the organization's important work to close the literacy opportunity gap for children from birth to age 6 in high-need communities. Since the start of our relationship a decade ago, the TD Bank team has seen the meaningful impact Raising a Reader has made in the local community. In the past year alone, the organization has served more than 7,500 children in 10 different cities across Greater Boston, working to break down barriers for families to access relevant literacy educational tools and resources. And it feels only fitting that the theme of tonight's event is imagination, since reading gives everyone, regardless of age, race, or background, the opportunity to imagine a better and brighter future. Books are where many children get some of the first ideas for what they want to be when they grow up, what fantasy worlds could look like, and how they can make the world a better place. This intangible optimism is something that Raising a Reader brings to the local community, and not just to the children involved, but to their families, their friends, their educators, and their community members. Now, we're pleased to continue to support Raising a Reader through grants from our charitable foundation, through our bank sponsorships, and through employee volunteerism, and quite frankly, to be accepting this award today. We're truly humbled by the recognition, and we look forward to another decade of collaboration working together to provide children with literacy opportunities they may not have had otherwise. Thank you very much again for this award. Thank you so much. Now, Ian, back to you.
Thank you so much, Steve. And I hope you really enjoy that red bag. I know those red bags are some of the most fun parts for our families and young readers because they're often full of books. So congratulations again. And those books would not be possible if it weren't for authors. I know that seems like a very obvious thing to say, but authors are such a key part of literacy, and we are so grateful that so many authors are friends of Raising a Reader Massachusetts and that they are here with us tonight. So would you please give a huge round of applause for at least we have 18 specific authors, and if you're an author and we missed you, please forgive us. But we want to specifically put our hands together for Ace Atkins and Mark Arsenal and Allison Wright and Desmond Hall and Nikki Giovanni, Hank Philippi Ryan, Jean Blasberg, Michelle Wax, Darielle Suarez, Jennifer De Leon, Gerald Walker, Deborah Royce, Melissa Bernstein, TJ and Hadley Douglas, Marjan Kamali, Catherine Shearbrook, Dan Shaughnessy, and William Martin. These are all our celebrity author friends. And I do want to remind everyone that many of those authors will be joining us in our after party. And during the after party, you'll be able to mix and mingle, see and be seen, and talk with some of these incredible authors. Maybe one of them has written your favorite piece of literature and you'd like to ask them about it. So please make sure that you come and visit us in the after party. It'll be right after this program. And one of those authors, of course, if you showed up a few minutes early, you got to meet her during our pre-show. But I'd like to welcome back photographer and author who has been published in National Geographic and many of her own books, who invited us to do some selfies, including taking pictures of important items in our life or headgear that is important to us. So I want to bring her back to talk with us for just a moment. And oh, wait, we already have some selfies. Oh, let's see. Okay, wait. So, this is that Marianne? That's beautiful. Yes, Marianne, that's perfect. Oh, and this must be an important item that is very important. Oh, this is good. I see that that's headgear and an important item. Very nice. Oh, and Jason, I'd love to know the story behind that item and what that means. Familia. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Thank you. And okay, yes, beautiful cards. So, okay, here's what we want. Please consider taking a selfie of you and something that is very important, an inanimate object, not a person or a pet, but an object that maybe it's what you would grab if you were running out the door, if your house was on fire, heaven forbid, or special headgear. If you have anything that you wear on your head that has meaning, take a selfie, send those selfies in to info@raisingareaderma.org. And now I get to introduce the one and only Allison Wright. Allison, would you be willing to tell us about some of the amazing images that you shared with us, earlier from your recent book? And thank you for being here, by the way. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm loving the idea of everybody running out and looking for first of all, the headgear part that I talked about in these different cultures, the people that wear these different hats, or I've had the great fortune to spend many years photographing in Tibet and have done a couple of books on Tibet, and really have followed the nomads deeper and deeper into their own, where they live. And I just love the culture and the clothing that they're wearing. So this little Tibet girl that I saw, it was pouring rain and I was in the car in this vehicle and I didn't want to get out, because of the rain. And then I remembered why I was there. So I got out and I made some really terrible photos of her. And then I brought her into this school, and she had just left a horse festival with her family. Why she's so ornate and covered in amber and turquoise and coral. And I photographed her with this light coming in from the side window. And it was so beautiful. And I felt like I, in that moment, had really captured the tenacity and resiliency of these people that had, really gone through major changes in their culture, and a little bit of the sadness too. This little girl is only about, I'm going to say 5 or 6 years old. And I felt so strongly. I was doing a story for National Geographic on the demise of the Tibetan nomads. And I felt really strongly they didn't choose this picture initially for the magazine. I fought for it. Anyway, it got in the magazine, I got on the cover, and it became the cover of National Geographic, celebrating 125 years of the magazine. So there's also a moral to the story: fight for your images.
Yes, Allison, I'm sorry. I wanted to just fight for your images. And, it's sort of like you have to fight for what you believe in, which is part of what Raising a Reader Massachusetts does. And I'm guessing authors know about this, that when you create something, sometimes there are people who say, oh, it's not right, and you've got to keep believing in it. And these 15 years of Raising a Reader Massachusetts, I sort of feel like you're right there. So Allison, do you mind, would you share the story? You said you sent that image to us of the woman with the chickens, and there was that incredible story. Do you mind telling everyone about that? I'd love for people to hear.
I want to talk about this one, Emma Toe, holding the two chickens, because she's so proud that, she's really, this is in Liberia, and she's, as many of these women, really lived under the thumb of their husbands. And she found a way to raise these chickens, built that chicken coop herself, learned how to immunize chickens, learned how to raise them. It's not really as easy as it looks. And with the eggs that she sells, she's able to send her kids to school. And, she raises these baby chicks to become chickens so she can sell them as well. But she's so proud of, it's just the possession is not so much just the possession, but like what it represents. That's what I'm always so taken with. And just as a small segue, I'm so taken in these cultures that so often whenever I photograph or meet these people, and I do all kinds of work all over after the earthquake in Haiti, after the tsunami in Sri Lanka, it is amazing to me that someone will always offer me something, from little cowrie shells to coffee to, no matter what little they have, it's always the people that have the least that give the most. So their possessions are sort of, open to what they're proud of, but not what they're trying to cling on to.
Yeah, Allison, it makes so much sense. And, tonight there's already so much generosity that's happening. And Greg Dooling, I just wanted to say thank you. We saw your really generous gift. And Jim, so many people are already helping as we go towards this goal of $325,000 to continue funding all of our work this evening. And Daniel Grondin, thank you so much. So like you said, Allison, it's people are all over the world. People are so generous, and we're so grateful to have so many of you here with us tonight, and your generosity is greatly appreciated. Raising a Reader Massachusetts is committed to dialogic reading, and I've learned about this recently. It's where you read with a child or other person in that way where it's interactive, where you ask a kid like, "Wait, what do you think about this?" or "What's this mean to you?" And we hopefully many of us have done that with young people, and this is at the heart of what Raising a Reader Massachusetts does. And I'm so excited because I get to welcome another author who is here to engage us in a game that sort of uses that dialogic process. So his recent book was Your Corner Dark, which was described as searing and gritty, but you would read it with hope in your heart and a lump in your throat. He is the father of two young women. Would you please welcome Mr. Desmond Hall? Mr. Hall, it is such a privilege. Welcome.
Well, hi, Ian. Thanks for having me. Much appreciate. It's an honor to be here. And please call me Des. Mr. Hall, that's like my dad or someone like that. So tonight we're going to play a game and it's one that Raising a Reader uses when working with parents and scholars, and it's based on dialogic reading. And so the way we're going to play it is I'm going to give some phrases over the course of tonight's event. And then either in the chat or, everyone out there with your friends watching, you can respond and try to guess what the phrases mean. Maybe use them in an actual sentence. Okay, so here's the example, folks. The title of my young adult novel is Your Corner Dark. And in Jamaica, that's a phrase that means being stuck between a rock and a hard place without any good choices to be made. And to use that in a sentence, let's say, if you bet on the New York Jets to win the Super Bowl, well, your corner dark. Okay, here's another one, folks. The word is sheesh, and it comes from my teenagers. I try to keep up. Let me try to use it in a sentence or a situation. Someone walked into the classroom in high school in their baseball uniform, all decked out, and everyone in class kind of leans back and goes, sheesh.
Okay, Mr. Hall, Des, I love it. So, okay, everyone, you get a chance. Try to figure out what sheesh might mean. Tell us in the chat. Give it a try. And Des, as people are trying this, we'll give them an opportunity. But would you? Maybe you could tell us what it means, so that as people are trying to figure it out at home. I'm not sure. Sheesh, I'm not sure. Exactly. Alex, sheesh, I'm not sure either. And if you're doing it with people, fancy. Oh, I like that. Okay, fancy. That's good. Okay, Des, tell us. What does it mean?
Well, yeah, for sure. So those were some really good guesses, and thanks everybody for using your great imaginations and putting yourselves out there like that. You were great examples for the kids with this dialogic reading technique. You'll know you got it right if you used sheesh as though it means you like the style, but you're being a little extra. You like the style, but you're being a little extra.
I see what you're saying, Mr. Des. Okay, so Des, I know you agreed to maybe come back and play this game a few more times. So everyone, Des will be back. But Des, before we do that, I want to remind everyone that we have a live auction that is coming up in moments, very soon. So be sure you are bidding in our live auction. Also, the silent auction will be closing at 9 p.m. this evening. So make sure, thank you, Raising a Reader, I see you. Make sure that you are checking out the silent auction. It closes at 9. And now I get to invite back our executive director, Christine. Would you please tell us about what's been happening at Raising a Reader this past very challenging year and what's coming up? We'd love to hear. So welcome back, Christine. Thank you.
Thank you again, Ian. I always look forward to our Dinner with an Author Gala because it's an opportunity to see old friends, meet new authors, and highlight the amazing work that's been going on for the past year. I'm excited about our program tonight as we gather to raise the funds that will ensure our work continues into the future. Tonight's theme is imagination. And I want you all to take a moment to imagine two different worlds. One where all children have access to books and literacy education, and one where only some have that access. In America, 1 in 4 children grow up without learning how to read. 61% of low-income families have no books at all in their homes for their children. And a child is 90% likely to remain a poor reader at the end of 4th grade if the child is a poor reader at the end of 1st grade. For 15 years, we've been working on behalf of the children and families of Massachusetts to change that narrative and eliminate the literacy opportunity gap. We started our work in Chelsea in 2006, thanks to the Greenlight Fund, which identifies results-oriented nonprofits around the country and brings those programs to become part of the local infrastructure. At that time, no one could have imagined how far-reaching and successful our program would be. In fact, Chelsea continues to be a very special place for us, and we're excited to be establishing a reading nook within the Chelsea Public Library as a place to celebrate the joy of reading. Today, we operate in Greater Boston and 10 gateway cities across the Commonwealth. And during normal operating times, we serve over 7,500 children and their parents or caregivers per year. Over the years, we've circulated over 400,000 books to over 100,000 families. Imagine the impact. For every child who received and read one of those books, the effect can be life-changing for them and for generations to come. In addition, parents and caregivers have been empowered to teach their children the foundational reading skills that must be developed to ensure future success. It is this access to high-quality books combined with the educational workshops that changes parent behavior and affects kindergarten readiness to move the needle. Quoting one of our parent ambassadors, our program really works. As we look to brighter days, I'm excited about the future. Far too many children have lost out on learning opportunities over the last 16 months. Our team has used their imagination to create new opportunities to support children and families within the digital environment, including virtual teaching tools and text message literacy support. These ongoing initiatives, which have been game-changing for their ability to provide families with more flexible options to fit their schedules and busy lifestyles have all been made possible by our dedicated supporters, including each of you who are here this evening. Our premier award this evening is the Leadership and Literacy Award presented to Amundi US. Since 2015, they've shown their commitment to literacy through their generous and ongoing support of our programs. From volunteers to sponsorships, their employees and leadership, including serving as board chair, have always gone above and beyond to help us empower families to find the joy that only comes from reading together. As one of tonight's World Changer sponsors, I am pleased to introduce Lisa Jones, President and CEO of Amundi US, to accept the award.
Christine, thank you very much. And thank you to everyone at Raising a Reader for this amazing award that Amundi US is receiving today. Here it is. It's absolutely beautiful, and we will display it in our offices. Again, thank you for all that you do at Raising a Reader. On behalf of the organization, I'm honored to receive this award. From our perspective, Raising a Reader is perfectly aligned with our corporate giving mission, and involvement with you and the organization is something that we've been doing for the last many years. I want to also recognize Greg Dooling, who is my CFO, who has played a number of leadership roles within Raising a Reader and has really done an exceptional job of raising the profile of the organization broadly across Massachusetts and locally within our organization. The focus on improving literacy for our youngest children across our most underserved communities is super, super important. And some of the information that is shared by Raising a Reader on just how vitally important it is for each of us as parents to read at the earliest of ages to our children. The results and the scores that you demonstrate are absolutely incredible. And we learned that when you are reading to a youngster and they're learning vocabulary and learning how to speak, that test scores overall, that their success as students really improves with reading at such an absolute young age. And one of my favorite stats that I think Raising a Reader puts forth is that on average, we find that there are 13 books per every one child that most in Massachusetts have an opportunity to experience. And I believe actually for some in the low income in these underserved communities, it's one book for every 300 children. So having more books and reading, we know that it's all so important, and it allows our imagination, our minds to wander. In any event, we are passionate about our participation with Raising a Reader. On behalf of all of us at Amundi US, we thank you very much for this honor, and I encourage everyone who's participating today to join us in supporting the very valiant and good efforts and the great work of Raising a Reader. So thank you very much on behalf of the group. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you so much, Amundi US. We are so grateful for your support, your ongoing support, and congratulations again on your well-deserved award. Our live auction is just moments away, and the live auction is going to happen if you were with us at last year's Dinner with an Author, similarly, where the live auction items will be sold in groups. So we have two groups of live auction items. In our first group, we have a Bruins team hockey stick that was used by David Krejci, and it was signed by the entire team. And we really want to thank Steve Smith. And a Celtics signed basketball. Thank you to the Boston Celtics Shamrock Foundation, and the Bruins signed jersey. Thank you, TD North. These three items are in our first group of live auction items, and all three of them will close simultaneously in just a very short period of time. The second group of live auction items has items 4, 5, and 6, which are the trip to Barbados for 6 people. And we really want to thank Elite Island Resorts and an anonymous friend of Raising a Reader Massachusetts. The men's Ebel watch. You will look so sheesh if you have this watch. So we really want to thank Shreve, Crump, and Lowe, and the chance to have dinner with legend Dan Shaughnessy in a private room at the Capitol Grill. So if you want one of our live auction items, you want to be bidding right now, because in very soon we're going to do the live part of our live auction, and those items will sell very quickly. And if you're bidding now, it will be much easier for you to keep up with the bidding once it goes really fast. So while you are getting in your final bids, Des, I am hoping that you might be able to come back, because Raising a Reader supports families who speak very many languages with books and support with our programs. And you mentioned that you might have another round of our Dialogic game that is based in your home, your original home of Jamaica. Would you mind coming? Would you share that one with us?
So, listen, Jamaican accent now. Jamaica is a country steeped in philosophical sayings. My grandmother had a favorite. She used to say, "New broom sweep clean, but old broom know the corners." If you were to guess what this phrase meant, what would you think?
Okay, so new broom sweep clean, but old broom knows the corners. I'm going to give everyone a chance to try to create a sentence or a definition in the chat. And while you are doing that, we are going to do our first round of live auction items, which means if you want the Bruins hockey stick or the Celtics signed basketball or the jersey from the Bruins, now is a good time not to be in the chat. Now is the time to be bidding in your phone or wherever you have GiveSmart set up, because our first round of live auction items will close in 2 minutes. And I can tell you that Vanessa, you are currently the top bidder on that hockey stick from David Krejci. And it looks like Kate, you're the top bidder on that signed basketball from the Celtics. And John has that Bruins signed jersey. But you only have about 1 minute and 45 seconds to go. Vanessa, you're in the lead on the hockey stick and the Celtics basketball going to Kate. John, you're in the lead on that jersey. Right now is the time you want to be bidding. Remember, auto bid is your friend. If you really want something that is that if you want one of these 3 items, set an auto bid right now and the computer will do your bidding for you. Vanessa, you're in the lead. You got 1 minute and 15 seconds to go. Kate, you're doing great on that basketball. The jersey is going to John. Now is the chance. If anybody else wants to get in, remember, not only are you buying a piece of Boston sports history, you are also supporting Raising a Reader Massachusetts. So Vanessa, thank you. You're still in the lead on that on the hockey stick. And David Krejci used it, but the entire team signed this particular hockey stick. So it is a memento of the whole team. Kate, you're in the lead on that Celtics basketball. And it looks like the jersey is still going to John. You've got about 1 minute remaining. Vanessa, you're still in the lead. Nicely done. Kate, you're going strong. John, if anybody else wants to come, this is your chance right now. You don't have to let Vanessa and Kate and John just sit there and feel so happy that they're going to be able to have these items. You can bid because you've only got about 45 seconds remaining in our live auction. Vanessa's in the lead on that hockey stick. And Kate, you're doing great with the basketball. The jersey's going to John. Remember, if you're looking for one of these items, I encourage you to bid right now in these last 30 seconds. And if you set an auto bid, then the computer will bid quickly for you against these 3 people, and it will be very difficult for them to hang on to these items at the last second when we do the countdown. All right, Vanessa, you're doing great. Nicely done. Kate and John, everybody's in good shape. I will say, Vanessa, Kate, and John, don't move your thumbs too far away from your phones, because sometimes people come in. Whoa, Jeanette just jumped in. Vanessa, I'm so sorry. Jeanette, you're in the lead on that hockey stick. Vanessa, if you want to make a bid, now is your chance. You see, I was just saying, people come in at the last moment and they make strategic bids. So Jeanette, you're in the lead. Mary's now in the lead on the basketball. John, nicely done. All right, you've only got 20 seconds to go if you want to make a bid. Kate just came back. Mary, I'm so sorry. The basketball's now with Kate. Mary, you've got to come back and make one more bid. Jeanette, you're doing great. Vanessa, this is your opportunity. You've got 15 seconds remaining. Last chance to make a bid. John, still sitting there thinking, ooh, that jersey's going to be mine. John, don't move your thumbs too far because we have about 12 seconds to go. Vanessa's back in the lead on that hockey stick. And Vanessa and Kate's back in the lead on the basketball. I'm telling you, Jeanette, if you want to make one more bid, now's your chance. Mary, if you want to come back, you've got 10 seconds to go. Last chance. Remember, sometimes people make bids at the very last moment. You've got 9. Vanessa's back. Oh no, Vanessa's in the lead. And now Kate and John, you're doing great. You've got 9 seconds remaining. You've got 8 seconds to go. Vanessa, you got the hockey stick. And Kate, you've got the basketball. John, you've got the jersey. You've got 7 seconds remaining. Vanessa's in the lead. Kate and John, you've got 6. You've got 5. You've got 4. 4. This is your last opportunity. Vanessa, Kate, John, 3. You've got 2, 1, and sold. Nicely done. Woo! Christine, thank you very much. Vanessa, congratulations. Oh! Mary, nicely done. Gets in a bid at the last second on the basketball. John, the jersey, yours. Thank you, Des. I appreciate it. And I just want to tell everyone, okay, you see how this goes. There are 3 more items in our second round of live auction items. If you want one, put in a bid now, because then you'll be all queued up to make bids quickly when we get there. And Des, would you be willing to come back before we go to our second round and tell us, what is new broom sweep clean, but old broom know the corners? I mean, what does your grandmother mean when she was saying that?
Those were some really creative interpretations. And it seems like some of you got it right. Maybe a lot of you, I don't know. But the answer is the old ways can work well. So don't always get caught up in those new shiny things.
Total sense. Hey, that makes total sense. The old ways are often good. I mean, also, having virtual galas is also, it's kind of new and seems to be working. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, here we go. We're going to go right to it. Our second round of live auction items. Items 4, 5, and 6. And I can see that Heather is really hoping that she will be taking friends to Barbados. This is your chance. Barbados for 6. And Camille, currently looking very shishi. I don't know if that's the same derivation for that men's Ebel watch. Uh-oh, Raquel just jumped in. Sorry, that was so fast. And Camille currently having the dinner with Dan Shaughnessy. So here we go. On our second round of live auction items, you have 2 minutes to go. Remember, if you really want something, use the auto bid. Heather, you're in the lead with that trip to Barbados. 6 people are going to go and have an amazing time for 7 days, 10 nights. And it looks like Raquel, somebody's wrist is going to be looking super sheesh, just a little bit extra, as Des said. Camille, dinner with Dan Shaughnessy is going to be yours. You have 1 minute and 45 seconds in our second round of live auction items. Barbados is going to Heather. Dan jumps in on that men's watch. Dan, are you ready to be able to tell exactly what time it is? I think so, and probably look really good doing it. Camille, sitting there pretty with that opportunity to hang out with Dan Shaughnessy. Now you've only got about 1 minute and 15 seconds to go. Heather's in the lead on Barbados. Dan is taking the watch, and it looks like Camille's got that dinner. This is definitely the time. Bid quickly with your thumbs, or set an auto bid so that the computer's... Kate just comes back. Dan, I'm so sorry. Kate's back in the lead on that watch. Dan, now is your chance. The watch is going to Kate. Heather's still sitting pretty with Barbados. Camille, the dinner is all sewn up, but remember, sometimes people bid strategically at the last second. Now you've only got 1 minute to go. Last opportunity. Kate comes back. She wants the watch. And I know, Des, you're going to have to tell us how to use that in a sentence like, this watch is making me feel real sheesh, or something like that. Camille now Camille, I think Camille may be using auto bid, because Camille is in the lead on the watch and the dinner with Dan. And Camille, I'll tell you, if you wear the watch when you go to the Capitol Grill and talk to Dan Shaughnessy, well, then you're the ultimate Raising a Reader Massachusetts supporter, I'm pretty sure. Heather's going to Barbados. You've got 45 seconds to go. Heather's going to Barbados. Camille's got the watch. Camille's going to dinner with Dan. This is your last opportunity. You have 30 seconds remaining. Last chance. Barbados for 6 people is going to Heather. Camille, that beautiful men's watch is going to you. And the dinner with Dan Shaughnessy. I will say, if you are trying to find the top of Camille's auto bid, you've got to keep bidding. I think the dinner with Dan, she may have an auto bid employed, but if you keep going, Teresa she's going to Barbados. Now you've got 20 seconds remaining. Teresa's in the lead on Barbados for 6. This is really the last chance. Make sure your thumbs are right where they need to be. Camille, you've got that men's watch, and it looks like Camille's got the dinner with Dan, and Nick he's going to Barbados. Nick has just jumped in. Nick and Camille, you've got 15 seconds remaining. Last chance to make a bid right now. Remember, not only are you doing something lovely for yourself, but you're also supporting Raising a Reader Massachusetts. Nick's going to Barbados. Camille's going to, I don't know if yes, you've got the watch, and you're going to dinner with Dan. Now you've only got about 10 seconds remaining. Make your final bids right now. Nick, you're going to Barbados with some friends. Dan jumps in on the watch. Camille, if you'd like to make a bid, and Camille, I don't know if you have two phones going. Heather, you're going to Barbados. Dan's got the watch. Camille's going to the dinner with Dan. You've got 9. You've got 8. You've got 7. Make your final bids. Heather, Nick, both want to go to Barbados. Dan jumps in on the watch. Camille's still got the dinner with Dan. And now you've got 5 seconds to go. You've got 4. 4. Nick, you're in the lead. Dan, you've got the watch. Oh, Camille, Teresa, Camille, Dan, Nick. Everybody's trying to get their favorite live auction item. I'm going to slow this down, but I have to keep going because we have other things to do. You've got 3 seconds. Nick's going to Barbados. This is going to be the longest 3 seconds of your life. You still have time to push those buttons like 2 more times. Camille, you've got the watch. Nicely done. You've also got the dinner with Dan. Nicely done. Nick's in the lead on Barbados. You've got 2 seconds remaining. Make your final bids right now. Remember, you can set an auto bid, and then in the final second, the auto bid will bid multiple times for you. Heather just jumps in on Barbados. You have just about 1 second remaining. The watch is going to Camille. The dinner is going to Camille. Heather and Nick are going back and forth on that Barbados for 6. Okay, Nick, Heather, I'm going to give you this is your final moment. I don't want either one of you to feel too badly at the very last second, and I also want Christine to feel really good about how we did this live auction, so you can help me with that too. You've got 1 second to go. Last bids. You've got 1 and sold. Nicely done. Congratulations. Thank you, everyone. Camille, the dinner with Dan Shaughnessy, very well bid. It's yours. The men's watch, also going to Camille. Congratulations. And Heather, at the last moment, going to Barbados. Nick, thank you so much for helping Heather to bid $1,800. We're so grateful for your support. I want to say that many of you, as you've been bidding and participating, have also been sending in selfies. And we're going to see them in just a few minutes. So please keep sending in selfies with headgear or with favorite objects. You can still submit them by sending them to info@raisingareaderma.org. And Allison, I wonder if you would mind, I hope, I don't know if you were bidding, Allison, but I wonder if you would mind telling us what item would you take if you had to quickly leave your home, and tell us, I don't know if you have a story about it. I'm sure you have lots of cool things. What would it be?
I would love to. I'm going to share a prized possession that I have. I have many, but really it is things that people have given me during my travels. And I went out, everyone told me how difficult it was to photograph the Maasai. And I thought the best way to do this is really if I just show up on my own. So I went on my own in the middle of the Maasai Mara in Kenya, pitched a tent. It was late at night. I was exhausted. And I woke up the next day wondering, how are these warriors going to respond to me? Unzipped my tent, and to my surprise, there was a whole line of all the Maasai warriors there with their spear, and the head, quiet as anything, waiting for me to wake up. And the head man was there and presented me with this. And I was like, what is that? And it turns out that, how kittens have little hairballs or cats have hairballs? Well, this is a hairball that the lion coughed up. And it's very, revered in their culture. But turns out lions have pretty big hairballs. And his wife is behind me with a warthog tusk. And I definitely have that as up there with my important possessions, that if there's a fire, this little hairball is probably what I'm going to be running out with.
Allison, that is not a little hairball. Oh my goodness, what an amazing story. And I hope you'll submit a selfie as well, Allison, along with everyone else. We'd love to see it. And I do want to just say again, thank you so very much, everyone who helped us with our live auction. I had the opportunity to be a little less sweaty. It's warm, it's very warm. So thank you. All of your support. We get to put that right in to our gears of imagination that are taking us towards that goal of $325,000 raised this evening. And your support in the live auction is such a big part of helping us with that as well. So thank you. We were at 247,005, and now we're at $272,000. We are well on our way and within distance of reaching our goal. And thank you, Catherine. I really appreciate it. And Katie, yes, I have been drinking water, definitely. Tonight, as we celebrate 15 years of Raising a Reader Massachusetts, it's such an amazing milestone to imagine that 15 years ago, we were just getting going, and now we are working in so many parts of Massachusetts. And so we wanted to show you a little video about where we got started and some of the amazing people that we've had the chance to work with over these 15 years. Here it is.
Hi, I'm Tom Ambrosino, City Manager here in Chelsea, Massachusetts, and I just want to say how proud we are here of our 15-year partnership with Raising a Reader Massachusetts. Since starting their program here in 2006, Raising a Reader has expanded to 11 programs, serving 1,200 families with 4 books in a red bag and providing educational reading workshops to families with young children. These foundational reading skills that they teach help these children on a path to success and ensure that their dreams can become a reality. So congratulations to Raising a Reader Massachusetts. Chelsea is so happy and pleased to be celebrating with you a 15-year great journey.
Hola, mi nombre es Juana Valdés. Soy el embajador de Raising a Reader. Soy la abuela de Raymond Soto.
Hi, my name is Claudia and I am a community ambassador of Raising a Reader. I think Raising a Reader impact my life with my kids because since I started the routine, reading every night, my kids love reading now, and then my daughter was so little. She had 1 year old when I started in the program, and now she just loves book and she's like so prepared, and I'm so happy because she's in kindergarten now and she's like the reader of the class, so I feel so happy about it.
En la casa, pues Raymond, cuando nos ponemos a leer el libro, pues mayormente él termina haciéndome la historia a mí. Sí, y él es un niño que le fascina mucho la lectura. Él tiene su propia biblioteca en su cuarto, más tiene otra bibliotequita en el salón donde él estudia. Él me gusta como el Raising a Reader trabaja con ellos porque me enseñaron a llevarle la lectura a él diferente a como se le enseñaba antes a los muchachos.
I'm a parent ambassador for Raising a Reader. Dialogic reading have changed my life a lot, especially my daily reading routines with my kids. It made reading more fun, and it made my kids more engaged while reading stories. That's my 9-year-old Amir. He likes he likes me to read him a lot of stories.
Hi, my name is Alexandra Lopez, and I've been with Raising a Reader since I was 3 years old. One of my favorite parts of Raising a Reader is the way that I was so interactive with books at such an early age. I started receiving red bags when I used to go to playgroups with my mom, and some of my favorite books included Harold and the Purple Crayon, and I've remembered this book ever since.
Thank you, Raising a Reader. Thank you, Raising a Reader. Thank you, Raising a Reader.
Thank you, Raising a Reader Massachusetts.
Thank you, Raising a Reader. Thank you, Raising a Reader Massachusetts.
And thank all of you. And this is the moment where we want to ask you if you can directly contribute to this amazing work that has been going on for 15 years. With your support, we can reach that goal of $325,000, and we can continue into the next 15 years to ensure that the literacy opportunity gap is something we only can imagine because it is gone. So if you can help us right now, we would be so grateful. You might consider, one of these levels, maybe $5,000 or $3,500 or $2,500 or $1,500 in honor of our 15th anniversary. You could provide a new book to keep for 150 families, a book that would belong to that family. And you know how important that is when a young person they have that book for themselves. Or maybe $1,000 or $500 or $250 can support early literacy teacher training at a whole school. With $150, you could provide 10 books, which is like a month of bedtime stories. And, you know, a child's brain is 90% developed by the time they are 5 years old. So bedtime stories is not just like a nice to have, a cute thing. It is foundational, as we know, to the ongoing success, the academic and enjoyment success of that young person. So 10 books for bedtime, I mean, that's a lifetime of literacy and reading. Please consider a contribution of any amount. And Parker, thank you so much. And Melissa, thank you so very, very much. We are at $273,000. We would really love to be at 325. Elizabeth, thank you. So if you can help us with any amount that helps us get towards that goal. Guadalupe, thank you so much. All of these folks who are helping us. And also Vicky and Bill Bark, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your incredible generosity. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're so, so grateful. And for all of your support of Raising a Reader Massachusetts. We're at $274,000 thanks to Vicky and Bill and Vicky. So if you can help us with any amount, and as you are doing this, Heather, thank you so much. And Donna, thank you very, very much to all of you who are supporting right now. And we're going to continue to fill these gears of imagination all the way to the top. Johanna, thank you so much. We're so grateful. We're at 276. Lisa, oh my gosh, Lisa Jones, thank you. From Amundi, we are so, so grateful for your support. Thank you for being here. And Louise, thank you so much for your support. We're so grateful. Susan, thank you. I need to invite back Christine because she is going to introduce two of our very special authors. And Greg, thank you. We're so grateful. So Christine, as people are being so generous, would you introduce these two amazing authors to talk to us?
Ian, I'm honored to welcome a longtime supporter and friend of Raising a Reader Massachusetts back to dinner with an author, Ace Atkins. Ace is a talented best-selling author who weaves intricate and thought-provoking stories and is a passionate supporter of our mission and our work. Over the years, he's generously given of his time to participate in a number of our events, and tonight is no different. Mark Arsenal is a member of the Boston Globe's legendary Spotlight team. His investigative pieces have shed light on news stories that impact many of the communities we serve. Over the years, he's covered national politics and the US Congress. And tonight, he's graciously joining us for a special interview with Ace. We're thrilled to welcome these talented writers, and I can't wait to see the conversation that takes off. Welcome, Ace and Mark.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mark Arsenal from the Boston Globe. I'm honored actually to be here with Ace Atkins, who is an accomplished novelist in his own right and writes the Robert B. Parker Spencer series. Ace, how are you?
I'm great. Mark, thanks for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad to have this time to talk with you. Now, I'm really interested about the concept of voice, storytelling voice. Obviously, Parker had his own storytelling voice, which can be as unique as a fingerprint between different writers and different storytellers.
Absolutely.
And I'm interested, fans of the series are going to expect some kind of continuity of voice. And I'm very interested in how you managed to deliver that to them.
Well, this series is so iconic, not only for people that love detective fiction, but for the city of Boston. I mean, there is no bigger hero than Spencer in the city of Boston. So it's very important to me to capture that feel and that voice that Robert B. Parker had. And part of that is not only knowing his work, spending a lot of time with his work, but also spending a lot of time in the city of Boston. And so somebody for me who is a Southerner, I live in Mississippi. I think people were shocked to know that the estate had hired a guy from the deep South to continue books in Boston. But before I was a novelist, I was a newspaper reporter. And I know how important it is to know your beat, to know your turf, to know the people, to know the politics, to know the culture. And so over the last 10 years, I've spent a great deal of time in Boston and I've gotten to meet many friends up there. It's almost become a second home. And part of that has been Raising a Reader. That's been one of the great connections to the city of Boston that I've had over the years. But it is very important to get that sense of Spencer, to get that sense of Robert B. Parker. You have to go to ground zero.
Right. So you and Parker are different sort of writers, but do you think you descend from some sort of common ancestor in the genre?
Absolutely, Mark. That's really not only am I trying to do, I'm not just going back to Robert Parker, but I'm going back to the influences that influenced Robert Parker and influenced me, and that would be Dashiell Hammett, Raymond Chandler. And so, when they hired me to do this, again, coming from the Deep South, coming, as a Southerner writing a Boston-centric series, it is something that the sense of worldview, the kind of world weariness, the kind of looking at the city for what it is, for all of the parts that are good, the bad, and the ugly, that really came from the same lineage, and that's through Hammett and Chandler. And so I feel like we have come from very much the same place.
Right. So again, on the issue of voice, are you trying to replicate Parker's style and voice or pay homage to it? And there is a difference. It's sort of the difference between, becoming a member of Van Halen and playing in a Van Halen cover band. You know what I'm saying?
I could never play in a Van Halen cover band. Maybe I could do maybe a little Hagar, but I'm not sure if I could do the David Lee Roth. Those notes are hard to hit. It's a little bit of both. I mean, I do feel like there is a voice that I am trying to replicate, but at the same time, I am using my own skill set to bring forward the best possible stories that I can to continue these books, because that's really the question: is why should Spencer continue after Parker had passed away? I mean, Parker was a huge person in the field of mystery fiction. He was somebody that I looked up to, and some people felt that maybe the book should not continue. That was not my decision to make. That was something that Joan Parker and the Parker kids, the sons, wanted to do. But for me, the question is am I bringing forth a good story? It's the same thing as back when I was a newspaper reporter. Am I bringing back a story that is worthy for Spencer to get involved? If it's only a Spencer book and sounds like a Spencer book and there's some quips and people are eating donuts and drinking beer, what's the point? But the last book I did, Someone to Watch Over Me, is kind of a re-examination, look at kind of the Jeffrey Epstein case. I've done a storyline that was about for-profit prisons, dealing with that, with kids in jail, with juveniles being incarcerated for in-profit prisons. There's always something very topical that I like to continue for the book. So it's not just Spencer for Spencer's sake, but Spencer is not only doing something important, hopefully he's saying something important as well.
Right. So, I mean, these are not your characters you didn't create them. But do you feel like you have the authority to maybe give them additional backstory that they didn't already have?
Well, I really haven't been constrained in that way. Joan Parker, who was known throughout Boston for her not only being the wife of Robert B. Parker, she was also known in her own right as being a great leader in philanthropy in Boston. I mean, she was one of the best fundraisers in the city of Boston has known, and known in in her own right. But as far as constraints, I never really felt like I had any. Joan never said you can do this or not do this. The only thing that was asked of me by his editor, who had been Parker's editor for 25 plus years, is that we keep the stories contemporary. I had an idea as a novelist that I wanted to go back to write about what I guess you'd call dirty old Boston, gritty Boston in the 1970s. I wanted to talk about all the issues that were going on then, and really when Spencer was born. But it was important to them, and I think rightly so now after doing this for the last 10 years, is to write about contemporary issues, contemporary Boston. And that was the only thing that was told of me. So as far as backstory, changing details, I really have had the fortune of having, complete cooperation of the estate.
That's great. Well, I think we got to leave it right there. But Ace, I'm delighted to have this time with you today.
Thank you, Mark. And thank you so much for doing this for such an important cause.
Yeah. Have a great night, everyone.
Thanks.
Mark and Ace, thank you so very, very much for your support and for chatting, and to everyone who's been so generous. We are really hoping that maybe $1,500, if we could raise $1,500 more in honor of our 15 years, that would take us over $280,000. And our Raise the Paddle will continue to be open. So if you know anyone who wasn't able to be here with us this evening, you can send them to our Fund a Need and they can make a contribution. But right now, if anybody can help us with $1,500 in honor of 15 years, we would be so thrilled. And as you are considering doing that, and Margaret, thank you so very, very much. I want to show some of the incredible images that you have been sending in. Some of you have sent in some very fun selfies. So here they are. Look at these Ooh, oh, that's beautiful. That looks like a portrait, and that obviously means something very special. And I love the umbrellas. I would love to hear that story. Oh, wow. I don't know what that is, but I'd love to hear more about that beautiful object. It's a book. Yeah, now that is a fantastic piece of headgear. Sir, whoever you are, I salute you. That is an awesome hat. And oh yeah, LFC, there it is. Okay, I love beautiful. Thank you for sending these in. Oh, Christine, wow. A lion's hairball. That's impressive. That's very, very impressive. And Christine, thank you so much for being here with us again. And I do happen to know that Allison, that's Allison. Allison, I happen to know Allison is going to be joining us over in our after party, which we are so close to. And Christine, I have to bring you back because so many amazing things are happening and people are being so nice. I mean, isn't this incredible? Isn't it wonderful?
I am so happy this evening is going so well. I can't tell you how, thrilled this makes me. So thank you all, each and every one of you, for your generosity. You are creating the next generation of readers, and all these families are going to have read bags to create their own love of reading with their families. Thank you so much for creating this next generation of readers. Back to you, Ian.
Thank you so much, Christine. And yes, thank you to everyone and all your support. Please continue doing so. Remember, the silent auction is still open. And Des, I've got to ask you, in just a moment, we're all going to head over to our after party in this other platform called, it's a happy hour that we're going to have in Remo. And before we go, would you be willing to give us one more game and then maybe we'll take it with us over to the happy hour. We'd love it. Are you up for that?
Yeah. So yeah, man, I'd love, to have one more final game that we could do at the Remo happy hour. This one comes again courtesy of my daughter. So those of you who have teenagers in your lives may have an advantage here, but we'll see. The term is drip, as in check out my drip. See if you can use drip in a sentence, and I'll be in the Remo happy hour ready to give you an answer.
Okay, Mr. Des. Thank you, Des. And I do want to just say that many of our authors are going to be joining us in the happy hour, including Des and Allison. Dr. Mir, I believe, is joining us. We're so excited. So please, in just a moment, come with us. Before we go, a quick reminder, silent auction is still open. Make sure you check on the items in the silent auction. Also, there are so many ways that you can help Raising a Reader Massachusetts. You can host a book drive. You could make sure that if you were donating this evening, that make sure your corporate, wherever you work, if they match your generosity, please do the paperwork because it's so important. Stay in touch with our newsletter, our website. You can volunteer. We do story time and book drops. We need data entry. There are so many ways to help us. Please, please do. We're so grateful. Our Remo Happy Hour After Party is opening momentarily. And as we head that way, I invite you to refresh your beverage, grab something yummy. Remember that you will be able to see and be seen when we move over into Remo. And as we head over there, the Boston Children's Chorus has agreed to sing us along our way. So thank you all so much for being here at Dinner with an Author. We will see you in the after party momentarily. Catherine and Heather and everyone who's donating right now, we are so, so grateful. Here's the Boston Children's Chorus. We'll see you in a minute.